G'day guys, Source20 here, welcome back to Oceania. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been chipping away at Patterson, and I reckon we're a few episodes away from finishing off our little town. Getting lots of suggestions from you guys. I have been a couple of episodes ahead, so I am now finally getting to adding in some of your suggestions in this build. I wanted to kick this episode off with a time lapse so I could chip away at some stuff, and I also wanted to take this opportunity to talk about something completely unrelated to Oceania. I wanted to talk about Marble Mountain. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Marble Mountain, it is an old series of mine. I've been working on it for about 4 years, which is crazy to think about. And last year I hit the node limit and was having some problems saving the save file, so I ended up just saying, alright, I'm gonna have to come back to Marble Mountain, I'm gonna continue working on Springfield, continue working on Oceania, and we'll come back to it. We'll have to come back to Marble Mountain. And then my computer died, and then work got super hectic, and it just got pushed back even further. So I was gonna work on it last week. I dedicated a whole week. I was ahead in Oceania and Mile Bay, so I had time free to work on it. Now, I think if you are listening to all this, you probably can hear the tone of my voice, you probably know what I'm about to say, but unfortunately, Marble Mountain is just unsavable. I tried all week to get the save to work. Unfortunately, every single bad thing that can happen to a save file has happened to Marble Mountain. Pretty much half of the growable buildings have disappeared, so at some stage, I guess I've been working on Las Cruces, which is the last city we're working on in the series. But I guess at some point, I might have not had no abandonment mod enabled, or I don't know, something's happened and all the buildings have disappeared, and I've tried reverting back to old saves and it's the same situation. So all of Santa Sartén, which is a build that City Walk City Wall built, that whole town is gone. All the props that I've sunken into the ground, they've floated back up, so a lot of the places look really strange with all these props now all the way up to ground level. Surface Painter has reset, so anything that I've done with Surface Painter mod, all of that has been erased. Not to mention that the save file is so large now, it takes like 20 minutes just to load it up. And I was also hoping to share the save file with you guys at the very end of the series, but the save file is so large now I can't even put it up on Steam, and probably half of you won't even be able to even open up the save or even let the simulation run. The save is just so outdated and so large and so complicated that I've spent too long working on it. It's been a whole week of just trial and error and trying to see if things would work and placing down the growables again. And the whole time, all I can think about is this new series I want to work on, or this new stuff I want to do in Oceania. So all that backtracking and redoing all this old stuff was just so uninspiring, and I just hated it. I really hated doing it. And really, the series had another 6 or so episodes. It's such a shame that we are so close to that 100 episode mark. I don't know, maybe we'll just have to combine some of the driving videos that we did for that series into those episodes. So maybe we hit 100, okay? There was definitely 100 videos, over 100 videos, but maybe not 100 episodes of building. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to apologize because I really had high hopes to get back into it. I was really motivated and made a lot of promises about all the things we're going to do. But getting back into it last week was just so draining of any motivation and energy because I had to redo all this stuff, and even looking at the map and seeing everything just running so poorly and so much lost, wouldn't even be fun to just focus on Las Cruces, knowing that the rest of the map wasn't working and nothing was going to be connected as I had hoped. So again, sorry to all those people who are hanging out for it and were just super keen to get back into that series and wrap it up and see some nice driving videos and finish Las Cruces. We're so close, but unfortunately it's just not going to happen. And on a positive note, just know that Marble Mountain, Mile Bay, and this new series that I'm working on, they're all really taking aspects of Marble Mountain and putting them into, or refining them to a way that I think is definitely done a lot better, more manageable, and honestly, I think executed much better. Marble Mountain was definitely special, and I know that's where a lot of people found my channel. But I think you're going to really enjoy this new one that I've been working on. It's definitely taking lots of inspiration from how Marble Mountain works, how Oceania is like, and, well, actually, honestly, it's taking bits and pieces from every series. I think I might do a whole video about that, but yeah, it's definitely going to be great. But you know what, we are halfway through this time lapse and I haven't even spoken about what we've been up to, and we've done a couple of interesting things. So I decided to work around the train line to detail this up a bit more. You know, I've been working in Mile Bay for a while now, and I was really excited to get back into Oceania and do some detail work using a whole bunch of custom props and just making these places look nice and realistic. So that's what we're doing here. Although, you know, and I've mentioned this many times, I'm no train guy, and I am really just searching for props and looking for items that I think match a kind of trainy, industrial type of area. See, told you I'm not a train guy. And the first thing I realized was that our platform was definitely not long enough, so I have extended it out. The trains still do some weird things with the nodes on the crossing, but I don't really know how to avoid that. I might just need to drag out the node a little bit more and play around just to see if I can fix that node up, because those crossings definitely don't make a very realistic looking train stop. And I've added in some industry as well, just some very generic looking industrial buildings. I am trying to go for something that you would find in a country town, particularly around these train lines. You know, they have big warehouses and there's quite a lot of historical industrial areas around these places, particularly around Bathurst, which is a big area that I am taking inspiration from. You know, lots of big warehouses and factories and stuff that sit along these train lines. A lot of these towns have big industrial pasts where, you know, these areas were used for exporting lots of resources from the countryside into the cities. And I wanted to do something similar to show that there is quite a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to dedicate, you know, each town for a particular type of industry, and I think Paterson, its main source of, its main export would be agriculture. You know, there's a lot of farmland out this way, so we are going to put down mostly farm-related assets and buildings and stuff like that. So that's why I've gone for that type of building style for those warehouses. And I'm also looking for items that definitely sell a country town. So I am making sure that every backyard, well, at least the backyards for, when I say every backyard, that's not true. I'm looking for backyards that are in high visibility areas, you know. So there's some parts of Paterson where I probably will never really ever look at, but then there are other areas, particularly around the train line, that we will be looking at a bit more. So I am making sure they're nice and detailed, putting down lots of Australian native trees. We've got dunnies out the back, and we've also got a heels hoist in every backyard too, which is a clothesline. And I'm also making sure that when I am placing down vehicles, I am trying to put down utes and I guess pickups. You guys, if you're out of Australia, you probably know them more as pickups, but we call them utes in Australia. I also wanted to detail the stream a bit more. There is no water down there, but I have made it nice and dry to show that there is definitely a dried up area of the stream as it goes up into the drier areas of Oceania. And, you know, I think this would probably be one of the streams that would have definitely held a lot of gold back in the day. And I think there would be some avid gold panners out there, and even people staying out this way would come and visit Paterson just for gold panning. So I did put some tents out there and just some walking tracks so that people can actually go and visit it, add in some land value and just some tourism to Paterson too. I think if you were a tourist, you definitely wouldn't be going to this pub that I've placed on this road. It definitely looks super shady. I don't think I'd walk in there. But this is definitely something that you guys have been suggesting, wanted to see a really shady pub on the outskirts of the town. There's a whole bunch of other things that you guys have been suggesting, and I think I'm going to tackle that in the live play because I think that'll be better for me to explain what we're getting up to. Yeah, just a quick time lapse. I'm already out of time. Far out. All right, let's get into the live play and place down some things that have been very much long requested. I've built a lot of stations in City Skylines, but this is honestly one of my all-time favorites. I don't know why. I mean, it's one of the simpler ones that I've done, but I just really like it. It's so simple, it's so basic, but I just think the balance of aspects that I wanted within the station is definitely there. Definitely over-analyzing this as well. Alright, I want to talk a bit about what we've been up to in the time-lapse because I really didn't give you guys much explanation of some of the things that we built. So, let's start with the station, and what I was going for is, like I said, wanted to keep it really simple, didn't want to do a huge amount of detailing or even a huge amount of infrastructure. We've really only got a parking lot, a couple of access roads, and that's about it. I mean, I was going to say not a huge amount of people are going to use it. I mean, a huge amount of people are using it, so I take that back. A lot of people like this station, and I guess it is probably one of the better ways to get into Dundee, even though it is a pretty big train trip. Some things that are just great on the Steam Workshop are just these little phone booths. I mean, how amazing is that? And I've added in some custom Oceania billboards too. Might even add a couple extra. In fact, let's just copy one of them over. Nah, let's not copy one. Let's place one down. I think in a town, I reckon we place an Irwin's Hardware billboard would make sense. And let's go for this fast food joint there. But you know, I think what really sells this station for me is just the simple platform. I probably need to add some benches, but I can't really be bothered. But the fence, I really love the fence for some reason. And then also this little area down here, I don't know, I wasn't even planning to build any sort of park area, but I think that would be a pretty nice spot just to sit and wait for your train rather than going on the platform if that's what you're after. Then heading across the tracks, we'll see if a train even rocks up. It does take a while for them to turn up. We've got just one block of houses and just scattered industry. These are warehouses, which are fruit packing houses. I mean, I placed down 2, and I probably placed down a couple more. They are not making any money, they're not making any resources. We need to get some glass being produced for that to happen. But the crops, I mean, this whole area around Paterson is going to be full of agriculture, so I actually think we're going to be making quite a lot of that. Trying to go for lots of farm assets and lots of farm buildings, random industry, and then we go to our warehouse cargo hub area. I mean, this is about as simple as it gets, but I mean, it's going to be really functional. This is a cargo freight station, and it's going to probably get pretty busy because I don't plan to place any others around. The only problem is that, I mean, we're going to have cargo coming from this direction too, which is not going to be able to hit that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or whether or not we don't really need to worry about it. But yeah, like I mentioned in the time lapse, was trying to place down more utes than anything else. And then across the road, we have our dodgy looking pub. I mean, I don't think a lot of people will be going to the Little Rock Inn. But you know what? The Little Rock Inn, not a bad name for a place that is so close to this rocky stream, where I think a lot of gold panning would have gone on around here back in the day. These days, maybe not so much so. What are you doing? Interesting. And then I've just got this little campsite going on down here. Probably need to place down a couple more areas where people can camp. Although I don't think people will be camping so close to Paterson, so we might just leave it. Now, speaking of camping and people staying in Paterson, we do have quite a lot of tourists coming into town, and I think that they're probably looking for places to stay. So let's add the first thing that people were suggesting. We definitely need to add some motels. So I've got this one motel that I would like to place down, the roadside motel, and the real question is, whereabouts are we going to put it? I would like it to be on this main road. I mean, that would be ideal, and probably closer to town than, say, somewhere like that. Although, that might work. This main road's pretty much all filled up with buildings that I already like. I could place it here, but I don't know, I like that building too. Maybe between the tracks? Geez, that'd be a terrible place to stay. But maybe not the most unrealistic. I guess it is a big spot, pretty close to town, and it's a bit of a waste of space not really having anything there. So I could. Do I? I do. Let's do that. We're gonna place it there. It's definitely not anyone's first choice. So, you know, it's got that going for it. It's really just a backup decision. And remember, all these hotels within the town do also offer accommodation. So people can actually stay at the Black Horse, and, you know, there's a pub here and a pub there, and there are other places where people can stay. But just as a motel, I think that's kind of cool to be between two train lines. Now, let's not do too much detail on this thing, but we do have to give it a bit of work. A little path, and we'll add a fence, but I reckon this would probably have some kind of pull too. So let's add a pull. This vanilla asset is one of my all-time favorite pool assets, and I'm just going to attach it. You know what? It's going to go like that. And then rather than searching for any trees, I'm just going to copy some over. And I think that's all I'm going to do with that motel. It needs a sign, but I don't have any signs in my collection. So I'm going to have to add a sign, and we'll add that out the front. Talking about signs, let's add some billboards. This is a main road, so billboards are definitely needed along this main road. Let's go for a Topia. And then Better Hair Dale. Yeah, let's get a Better Hair Dale. You can go along there. Wonderful. I don't know what's going on down here, but we've got a little bit of a circle thing going on with some of these cars. I believe all these guys are tourists, and yeah, they're all going to the same spot. I think they're going here, and they're probably getting confused. Yeah, alright, I knew this was going to happen. I have put the parking on the wrong side. Actually, before I even talk about that, a lot of people are saying that my parking is going in the wrong direction. It is not. Unfortunately, City Skylines, people park head-on, but in Australia, we do a reverse park into these spots. So they should be driving and then reversing into here rather than just doing a full nosedive. Now, this, I can fix this. I reckon if I just get rid of this road, and then hopefully if I replace it going the opposite direction, that's better. So now they are driving the right way. So hopefully that's going to fix that situation. I don't think that's it. That's it. It's all fixed. So back to adding buildings to Paterson. What we need to add now is something that people are saying, we don't have a petrol station in Paterson. I mean, most people are saying that we needed a petrol station on the way out of Paterson. You know, one of those last stop petrol stations. Definitely one deserves to be out here. You don't want to get stuck between Paterson and, I mean, the great beyond. So we will have to place one out there. I'm not there yet, but I think for the time being, let's add one inside the town. Let's put one, you know, I've always felt like this building doesn't really belong. So we'll get rid of him. Being Oceania, we've got our own custom petrol station company that I have just copied over. It's called Coral. I've copied over because I'm lazy and I don't want to build it again. So I'm just going to copy and paste it over. Yep, that's pretty good. That works. There we go. I've also added in a little milk bar, which I completely forgot I even had, but these are super classic milk bars that you have all around Australia. I figured we should definitely have one in Paterson too. Actually, you know what? Since we're on the topic of milk, why don't we... I'm pretty sure I've seen... Yeah, I thought I had one of these. Okay, a Milo. I mean... I know it's not a Oceania custom brand or company, but, you know, Milo, we got to have it. And since as we're putting down a couple of petrol stations, we've got one in town, but a lot of people are saying we do need to have like a last opportunity to buy petrol before you hit some of the bigger areas that don't really have many petrol stations. So, I mean, this would probably be one of the last parts of civilization before we hit something like that. I don't know, maybe something not as fancy as a Coral petrol station. Maybe we do something a bit different. I don't think I have anything else in terms of petrol stations in my collection at the moment. So if I use one of these, then, I mean, it's already got this warehouse attached to it, which, you know, kind of makes sense for a petrol station. Alright, I think that just might be the only way we can even place down some more Bowsers, because I don't think I have anything else. There we go. Last petrol station you're going to find before hitting the big open road, which this guy, obviously, hopefully he has enough petrol to last him the journey. But I also just put a little bit of a truck stop here. People wanted to see a much larger truck stop, which I think I'll probably place a bit further out, but I'm not going to do that today. I want to save that for another episode. But something else that people said that I should definitely add is I should add something like a grain silo. And look, this asset, I mean, is pretty amazing. I know exactly whereabouts I'm going to place it. I think somewhere along here, because then we can actually justify another cargo terminal here. And that way, because we were worried about cargo, this line accessing this station here, we don't really need to worry about that because we can just place another one right there. So what I'm going to do is, well, all right, what am I going to do? That's right. I'm going to place down some sort of little turn off like this. Yeah, like that. We will probably have the station something like there. Why does it look so weird? I'm obviously using the wrong network, aren't I? Oh, gosh. So I believe to even place down the station in the first place, I do have to create a road so they can connect to it. Of course, we are not building on a straight or flat piece of land as per usual in this series. I tell you what, next time I do a series, it's going to be all flat, mark my words. And maybe, are we going to fit? Better change it to the right rail network. We've got a pretty good amount of space. Hopefully if I place it, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. That's good. Connect these bad boys up like so. We'll just make sure it's all fairly flat. Ugh, man, I'm so sick of working with just an uneven terrain. Yeah, that's gonna work. So just gotta figure out where the silo is going to go now. And you know what? Maybe I'll place it down first and then we can figure out where that road is gonna connect it up. And then maybe, just maybe, I could get away with placing just a small road like that. Oh, that worked. Oh, fantastic. Things never work out, and that worked out. All right, great. Let's do something just super simple like this, and we'll connect it up. And then no pavement. We're just gonna keep this all dirt around here. I'm even gonna get some decals and just place down some decals all around just to make it look super rough. We'll get some plants, we'll get some bushes, maybe even one more bit of industry just to sit there. And I reckon this is going to look pretty nice. Yeah, I think that's about all I'm going to do. I mean, I am going to come back to this area. I haven't done anything over here because I'm still trying to figure out whether or not we're going to put a farm here or maybe just one last suburb. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But for the time being, I think just adding in a bit of industry around these areas, this silo adds so much to the outer edge of Patterson. I mean, I really love it. And in terms of detail, I have got some of these decals, just sunk them into the ground a bit so that we can get a nice blend from the surface painter into the grass area. Got a Bruce Burger head-on collision with the silo over here. But I mean, those areas are kind of done. I want to move on from this area because we're going to come back. I want to end this episode off. Man, Patterson's looking really alive. I want to end this episode off because I want to place down our big thing. So just a quick detour as we just check out an amazing billboard. But yeah, we are going to place down what is the big thing within Patterson. And you guys are saying, because this is a gold mining town, we are going to be placing down something that's related to the gold mining past or even the tourism that people might come here for. I mean, this is going to be the most perfect spot for it, right? Right next to the park. I think we'll detail this park up as well just to finish it off. So the census was a big gold nugget would be probably the best fit for this area. And I've got these great grey flame rocks that I could use. I mean, there's a bunch of them that probably do look like big golden nuggets. I just got to try and choose the right one, which probably is that. Obviously, it's way too big. But if I use procedural objects, I can just, yeah, maybe just scale it down. So we can do this, and then this, and then this. And I should be able to recolor it too, because, I mean, we want this to be a golden nugget. We don't want it to be a, you know, another kind of nugget. So I think we're just going to be careful with the color of this thing. All right, can I make this thing a gold? I think a gold would be the perfect color for it. Oh, I tell you what, that's pretty good. Maybe even make it a bit smaller, but it is still pretty large. Give it a little rotate. I mean, it looks a little strange. Maybe if we add some stuff around it, it won't look so weird. I guess a lot of the big things within Australia, some of them are known for being a little unusual, a bit on the wacky side of things. So maybe this one in Paterson is maybe just been known as a big golden, you know. So maybe I'll just add a bit of stuff around it, and hopefully that way it will make it look a bit nicer. What am I doing here? Oh, that's right. I am using procedural objects, and I'm going to use this pylon, because I think it's a pretty great looking pylon. But I think I might just get rid of this whole Tony Abbott fella. See you later, Tony. We'll put you down there in the ground. See you later. Oh man, alright. Maybe a flower bed around it would help just to make this look a bit better. Yep, that's definitely improved things, adding in just the smallest garden bed. And I'm going to continue this along. We've got this path too, and these bark props I think are adding quite a lot to this area. I wasn't expecting to add any sort of path along here because we do have one along there as well, but I think this is adding in quite a lot. So I'm going to continue this along and just copying these props a bit further along as well. Just doing something like this. And then maybe even just adding these little pockets in here. Because what I'm thinking, this might be the perfect spot for some sort of war memorial. You know, some sort of remembrance walk. We could probably put some little park benches in here. And we've also got, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, I think this would work really nicely. If I just turn that into a procedural object, so I can actually place that along the path. Maybe 2 paths on either side. And I'll just fix all this up. But I think this might make quite a nice little remembrance walk. So let's detail this up. And finished. We just kept it pretty short in terms of the tree line. I know I was placing down some bigger trees, but I think that this looks a lot nicer. Just keeping the garden bed nice and exposed so you can see some of these flowers down here, and also these purple plants. I mean, they're so nice. So placed a bunch of them. And then we've got nice clear sight of our memorial, and our train that's coming into our station. We'll go on, I'm going to put it on pause. I want to go and check that out in a sec. What I do need to add though is for our golden nuggets, I think that we need some sort of sign. I think even just something like this. There we go. If you can't tell, I have also finished off the park. I just kept this whole area nice and open, and then the rest of it is just full of bigger trees. Over here, I think I'm going to put some sort of commercial district because, I don't know, I think we've probably got enough parkland for this area. Alright, let's check out our train. That might be one of the last things that we do. I want to see if this just fits on our station nice and tidy. And, gosh, there's a lot of blue people here. What's going on here? Oh, man. Come on. Oh, okay. Look, whatever. That's just fine. I'm just going to keep it as that. Blocking a bit of traffic, except this guy, absolute rebel. So, actually, the last thing that I would like to do in this episode is people have also been suggesting that we do need some sort of fire brigade, some sort of fire department that is going to serve our Paterson area. And, I'm going to place down this asset here because this was an asset that was created for my Down Under series. Whoa, and of course, oh man, these are, that's the final touch. We definitely need something like that. So I'm just gonna add a couple more. Maybe we go for one like here. We'll go there, and I'll put one up near the university. And guys, that finishes our episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and your suggestions, they were great. Keep them coming. We are probably going to dive into some airport stuff in the next episode. I mean, I guess you probably already could tell that. Yeah, I'm pretty keen for it. So next episode, we're going to be back in Dundee figuring out what that airport is going to look like. Before I head off, I want to give a special thanks to some of the people over on Patreon supporting the channel. Cameron Inglis, Lila Krieger, Lawrence Pitts, Tyler Smith, Dominic Martin, Emil, Adam Johnson, Matt Austin, Firefighter IDLH, Megalodon, Adrian Mayers, and TJ Reed. Guys, thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you later.